Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Small Business Association's graduation ceremony for 2020. Our theme this year is embracing the mindset of change for a changing environment. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Barbados. Elder Maya Wilcher gives the invocation.
Good evening. Let us bow our heads for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks this evening for the Small Business Association, its senior leadership, board, management, and staff. We ask for your blessing upon the association as they work to ensure that they bring the relevant programs, workshops, and training to empower its members and the Barbados business community. Lord, in your word it says, "My people die for lack of knowledge." The SBA ensures that there's not a lack of knowledge in the field of business, but equipping the small business community in this nation. Small businesses represent a major part of this country's economy. And Lord, we need your blessing upon this sector to grow the businesses and impact the nation's overall growth. Father, it is this sector that we will need new and innovative ideas. And as graduates would have participated in the program, I pray that the things taught will be used to develop their businesses, impact their communities, and bring change to society as a whole. Lord, according to your word, I pray that they would commit to you whatever they do, and you will establish their plans. As the theme this evening is embracing a mindset of change for a changing environment, I pray that the association, the graduates, and the small businesses will embrace change for the better as we work to change our environment for the good. Cover this evening's proceedings, and let all that is done give you glory. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. In the precious name of Jesus, amen.
Senator Dr. Lynette Holder, the Chief Executive Officer of the Small Business Association, welcomes us.
Members of the Board of Directors of the Small Business Association, management and staff, our featured speaker, Mr. Raphael Saul, graduates, tutors, welcome. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this, our virtual graduation ceremony, a key feature of the 2020-2021 Entrepreneurial Training Program. Now, it is being held this year in this virtual environment, as you can all appreciate that the last 16 months, as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, has disrupted how business is done, how we go about our lives. Right now in Barbados, as a result of the restrictions on physical gathering, we are unable to meet as we would have done in the past at one of our favored conference facilities for this graduation event. And I think that it is a very fitting theme for us to focus this afternoon, having experienced these 16 months of the COVID-19 pandemic and the disruption it has caused. As we look at change, as we try to understand and appreciate, how do we approach change? How do we treat to change? And so our theme for today is embracing a mindset of change for a changing environment. I'm sure you will agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that we are indeed in a changing environment. All around us, the way business is done, the way we communicate, the rise of technology and the use of digital platforms. These have all brought about a change in how things are done. And so as someone said that the one thing in life that is constant is change, we have now to appreciate and appropriate that change in our lives. So we're challenging you in this graduation ceremony to embrace a mindset of change. Not to see the glass necessarily as half empty, but to see it as half full. Not to approach the issues of life and the challenges we go through as obstacles necessarily, but as opportunities for growth, opportunities to improve. And so it is against that backdrop that we commend you, that we congratulate you for having stayed the course, having been committed during the last year to the course of study that you undertook. Now, the data suggests that for the 2020-21 entrepreneurial training cycle, we've had some 221 graduates. Now, that, in my view, ladies and gentlemen, is worthy of commendation. We congratulate all of you who would have participated in our QuickBooks program, our inaugural conversational Spanish for small businesses, the beloved marketing course that is very well patronized, maximizing social media for small business, and the many others. We recognize that during the year, some 54% of our graduates took our QuickBooks program. So this tells me that persons understand and appreciate the importance of this particular computer-assisted accounting course and the impact that this course will have on your ability to manage your business, to manage your finances, to assist if you are an employee within an organization and how that employer sets up their financial management systems. So we've seen that throughout the year, persons have patronized not only the legacy courses that we offer, but the new programs that we've brought to the table as a result of our own efforts at being innovative and changing and improving how we do business. I believe it is late Nelson Mandela that made the point that education is the greatest weapon that you have to change the world. And so for over a decade, this Small Business Association has been committed to providing an educational product in our own efforts at helping our members, helping our stakeholders, helping our constituents at large to use this weapon of education to change the world. As we said at the beginning, our theme is embracing a mindset of change for a changing environment. The world around us is changing externally and internally. And so our mindset must be one where we embrace change, where we use education as that weapon to help us to change our circumstances. Congratulations once again, and welcome to this, our 2021 virtual graduation ceremony, as we seek to embrace a mindset of change for the changing environment that we are in. Thank you.
Neil Corbin, the Small Business Association's president, will now make some remarks.
Directors of the SBA, Madam CEO, Senator Lynette Holder, Elder Maya Wiltshire, professionals and staff of the SBA, graduates, tutors and facilitators, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. As president of the Small Business Association, I must confess that I am very proud of each and every one of the graduates at this evening's graduation ceremony, not only because of the hard work that has been laid down in the months of training, but more so because by your presence here this evening, you showcase a mindset to win, a mindset to achieve, and a determination to conquer the giants that populate the road to success. I believe it is necessary and helpful to embrace the mindset that the giants don't come to test us, but they come to help us to grow in experience and the determination that is needed to succeed. A willingness to experiment in the face of a changing environment is critical to that success. The old, tested and tried ways are possibly now the dinosaurs of a changing environment, to which demands new and easily adaptable mindsets. And if we find ourselves hard-pressed to accept the changing environment and are looking backward to the good old days, we will likely become lost in time, ill-advised, and missing the opportunities that present themselves to be exploited. Never before has the demand to actively and purposely align our thinking been so critical to living and working in this new environment. During Hurricane Elsa, I remember watching my wind vane and thinking that maybe there is some instruction in its operation. It was interesting to see the wind vane constantly adjusting to the change in wind direction and fluidly reporting the values. Over the past 19 months, there has been major change in direction, and it requires us to fluidly change our mindset to the new wind. No one predicted our current environment, and if it was predicted, we didn't hear it. But the winds have in fact changed, and we must change our mindsets to retain our thrust in business. As you receive your certificate this evening, you must grasp it as a beginning, a proclamation to the business world of your dedication to learning, success, and excellence in whatever your chosen field of profession is. I was asked to be brief, so as I close, I want to leave one more thought with you. Thinking small keeps us small because we never grow past our mindset. There is an immutable truth which states that as a man thinks, so is he. And we do well to mind our mind. Sometimes our perception of being small comes from how we see ourselves, but I dare say it is not necessarily our truth. Never be afraid of becoming big in business. You are fully resourced within. Set your sights high, higher than you think possible, because it is only by doing so that you will have the mindset required to navigate the changing environment in which we find ourselves. The SBA believes in you and in your vision. Do enjoy the following proceedings. Thank you.
Remember when we could stand close together? Here are some memories from graduations past.
Life is a stage we live on, fully engaged since we born, playing a role that we've been given by the Creator who watches on. Sometimes it seems life is hard. You will receive only bad. Don't be afraid, don't give up the struggle. Keep your head high, you will get by, and you will be playing your role well. You will be avoiding hell. And at the end of your days, at your setting sun, the Creator will say to you, well done, well done, well done, well done, well done. Act Two will come, be prepared. Sadness and bliss will be shared. Then suddenly things will get better. Don't be complacent, see the future. Save all you can, fill your need, but don't ever sow seeds of greed. Love your neighbor as you love your person. Life will be complete, life will be sweet, and you will be playing your role well. You will be avoiding hell. Oh, and at the end of your days, at your setting sun, the Creator will say to you, well done, well done, well done, well done.
The Small Business Association offered QuickBooks in the 2019-2020 Training and Development Series. Congratulations to the graduates of QuickBooks Basic. Here they are, the graduates of QuickBooks Intermediate. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the part of the proceedings where we welcome this evening's featured speaker. He's a business consultant, a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, and an attorney at law. Here he comes, Raphael Saul.
Hello, congratulations to all of you. I'm extremely proud of all of you graduates of the SBA Entrepreneurship Program. You deserve to be celebrated and acknowledged for your commitment, for your tenacity, for your courage, and for your perseverance, even in the context of everything that's happening now across the country, even across the world. You've shown yourself to be someone of the character that will stick it out, that will remain committed to the course you have determined you want to run. And here you are now at your graduation. I am extremely proud. I am celebrating you today because you deserve to be celebrated as graduates of this amazing program. Listen, even in the context of everything that's happening now all across the world, I am absolutely convinced that there will be a group of persons who can distinguish themselves as being able to achieve success regardless of what the environment dictates. Regardless of the nature of change happening all around us, there will still be the capacity within a certain group of persons. And I believe I've got some of those who are watching me right now who will remain committed to your course regardless of external circumstances, and will have a mindset that will not be denied. You'll have a mindset that is change ready, that is agile, that is responsive, and that is ready to make whatever decisions need to be made in the short term to position yourself for success in the long term. Listen, I'm not going to be before you for very long. I just want to give you 5 key pillars. 5 key pillars that I believe will sustain you in the context of a changing, a volatile environment, and will position you to achieve success regardless of what is happening all around you. Now, this environment can very much be characterized as a VUCA world. It's a term that was originated in the military but made its way into the business world. And it really is used to describe an environment that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And it arose from the times of King Arthur, where he'd be standing watching over an area where battle was taking place. And between the dust that was kicked up by the feet of soldiers and the feet of horses and all of the fighting that was happening at the time, it would almost make it very difficult to determine what was happening over there, because the environment was a very volatile one. And there were so many factors in play that caused it to be complex, uncertain, and ambiguous. It made its way into the business world, and so many environments, economic and otherwise, are often described as the VUCA world. But listen, that aside, nothing could perhaps characterize or match the characterization of a VUCA world more than the last 18 months that we've been navigating. What a time nationally, and certainly what a time globally for us to be alive. This pandemic really has brought into sharp focus for us how much the world is in a flux and how much it really does stand on a very tenuous footing that could easily be put off, causing everything to be thrown into a tailspin. Yet I want to suggest that there will still be a group of people who have mastered the skills that are necessary in order for them to succeed regardless of the changing nature of the environment. You might be aware of this. There are businesses that have achieved their highest levels of success over the same last 18 months. That has seen the closure of businesses, that has seen hundreds of thousands of persons losing their jobs across the world, that has seen persons losing their lives across the world. Yet, persons have been able to pivot in such a way that has allowed them to achieve success and to achieve their highest targets, even in the context of this environment. How have they been able to do it? I want to be able to explore some of those things with you today. I just want to share 5 of them. There will be many more. But I believe that these pillars, if internalized by you, if taken in by you, if owned by you, will be able to help you achieve your best 6 months or 5 months, if you look at it that way, for the rest of this year, and position you in your small business regardless of the nature of it. Or even if you haven't started yet, it begin to fashion in you the correct mindset you need to have in order to be hugely successful over the long term. Here's where it starts. It starts with awareness. That's where we're beginning. Awareness is so vital and critical if we are going to have a change-ready mindset. None of us is motivated to change or to do the things that are necessary in the short term to achieve a long-term positive result unless we become critically aware of the need for us to change. I like to use this example. I don't know if any of you have gone on a health or fitness or wellness journey. But for any of us who have, there was a moment when you in a second became aware. There was an event where you became painfully aware of the need to change. It might have been a doctor visit where you got some news you would not have liked to receive about your overall fitness and wellness. Perhaps it could have been about your blood pressure or the level of cholesterol you're presently maintaining in your body. Whatever it might be, there would have been an event that caused you to become aware, hey, I need to make a change here. Otherwise, I could be facing significantly negative consequences in the future if I don't adjust. Or, as happened with me, I'm not sure if it's happened to you, but it certainly happened to me. You go to try on that favorite outfit, your favorite suit or your favorite shirt, it might be. You go to try it on, and the moment you went to button that last button, no matter what you tried, that last button just would not come together. And in that moment, you had that meltdown, and you sort of realized, no, I need to do something. I need to change. Circumstances are getting out of control, and if I don't do what is required in the short term, I won't be able to guarantee my success in the long term. And for every one of us, that awareness is the first step for us to be change ready or to have a change ready mindset. We must have our finger on the pulse of what is happening around us so we are always conscious of how we need to adjust, how we need to change. We can always be agile and nimble and responsive because we are always aware of what is happening around us. If you're a small business person or if you're someone who is interested in starting a business, that agility or that awareness has to do with how aware you are of what is happening in your industry or market. To be more specific, how has COVID, how has this pandemic affected your industry, affected the way that business is conducted in the space in which you operate or desire to operate in? That awareness is what will equip you to be ready to adjust and adapt as you need to, because I promise you, pivoting is the name of the game. Pivot or perish. Pivot or perish. There is no other way. And the key to being able to successfully pivot is your level of awareness. Good way to remember it. Am I keeping my finger on the pulse of what is happening right now around me, of what is happening in my industry, of what is happening globally and economically. Am I aware? Awareness is the first element or the first pillar of our change readiness. But here's the thing. It can't stop at awareness, ladies and gentlemen. Awareness is the first step. But after awareness comes the question, do you have the desire? Are you motivated to do what is required to change? Let's go back to my example. It's one thing for you to have that event where the suit doesn't fit or where you get a negative report from the doctor, but what has to happen after that? Immediately after that, you have to develop the desire to get out there and to walk every morning, to do the exercise. You have to go out there and register for the gym program. You have to have the desire to change what you're buying at the supermarket when you go there. And so it has to move from an awareness of what is happening to a true and deep desire, a conviction, a motivation for you to be the person who will stand on the cusp of all that is about to happen around you with the boldness, with the confidence, with the courage to adjust and adapt as you need to. We must develop the desire. We must develop the motivation for change. We have to see change as our daily reality. As that saying that has become almost anecdotal for us goes, the only constant in life is change. Everything is in a flux. Will you be a person who is buried by that change? Or will you be someone who is able to navigate through it successfully because you're staying aware, you're not living in the, well, this is how we've always done it. You're not living in the old, you're not living in the outdated, in the obsolete. But you're staying ready, you're aware, your finger is on the pulse, and you're developing a motivation and a hunger to do what is required in the short term to ensure that regardless of what happens around you, you're positioning yourself to succeed in the long term. And motivation, it can be developed or derived in several different ways. For some of you, it will be, my business has so much to gain. I personally have so much opportunity to capitalize on by doing this thing. But for others, it might be, I have too much to lose if I do not remain change ready. If I allow myself to just drift with the tide, I have so much I could potentially lose. I can't afford for that to happen. And so I must be motivated to do what I need to do every day until I'm able to position myself with a degree of stability. While remaining agile, while remaining responsive, you develop a foundation that moves as it needs to move to accommodate and to adapt to changing circumstances. We've got to be aware. We must also have the desire. One step further though, we need to make sure we build the knowledge. Awareness is good, finger on the pulse. Desire is good, I'm feeling motivated to do what I need to do to remain relevant and to remain responsive. But what do I need to know? What are the gaps in my knowledge that could potentially be liabilities for me in the future? These are conversations we need to have with ourselves if we're going to remain change ready. Because we don't want to get 5 years down the road and then realize there's something we should have learned 5 years ago that would then position us to be successful now. We want to make sure we're being proactive in building our knowledge base. What does that knowledge look like? If you're in business already, what is the depth of your product knowledge? What is the depth of your industry knowledge? What is your depth of your market awareness or market knowledge? What other players in the market might be presently doing? How aware are you of those key areas of information that are critical to your business's success? And how are you able to discriminate between the things that are critical and the things that are convenience? That is absolutely essential for you. One of the things I've realized in speaking with various business persons over the last 18 months is that COVID has been a period where they've been able to distinguish between the critical and the convenience. And this is personal for us too, as much as it is business. How successful are we in making that discrimination between what is absolutely critical for us to succeed and what could truly be considered convenience. That would be good to have, but is not a necessary contributing factor towards our overall success. Building our knowledge. Here's the fourth thing. We've got awareness, we've got desire, we've got knowledge. Here's the fourth one. What is the level of your skill and ability? Honestly, not what you hope to be able to do, not what you pride yourself on being able to do, not what you think you can get done. What is the actual level of your skill and ability that will either propel you to success or will be a limiting factor contributing to your failure? And be honest about it. For all of us, there are areas of strength. There are areas where we've been able to develop deep resources of skill and competency. And yet for all of us, there will also be areas where we have not done so. And if those areas come up, what are we willing to do? Are we willing to examine programs like this one you presently completed, where we can build our skills? Are we also willing to align ourselves with people that can help to augment the skills that we presently have and make our team more richly qualified to do what our business endeavors to do? Or are we going to stay in, yeah man, I can do a bit of graphic design, I can do a bit of accounting, I can do a bit of marketing, I can do a bit of HR, I can do a bit of product development, I can do a bit of IT. Look, we can be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Or we can focus in on the areas that are most closely aligned with our skills, and we can get persons around us who can fill the gaps that are more difficult for us to fill. Abilities, skills, those are the things that help us regardless of what happens on the outside. A skill owned is very difficult to be taken away. If we are thinking about knowledge that could change from time to time, information that oftentimes goes through phases of truth and challenge and so on, but skills can never be taken from you once they've been developed and gained. And I hope that you take the skills you learned during this program and you commit yourself to honing them, to developing them, to strengthening them. And here's the last thing. We've got awareness, desire, knowledge, skills, and abilities. The last thing is reinforcement. What do I mean by reinforcement? We have to put systems in place, ladies and gentlemen, to ensure that we don't fall back into activities that take us where we don't want to be, rather than the activities that advance us to where we want to go. Systems enforce or reinforce or encourage the performance of the right activities while also discouraging the performance of the wrong activities. You can take my example that I used earlier. For some of you, you're trying to get better control of your eating and your diet. You might have to change the route that you drive to go home to ensure you don't pass by certain establishments and have that smell of food wafting through the window, right? You want to make sure you do that. Why? You're putting systems in place so that when my feelings have gone, when I'm not as motivated as I was when I started out, I've put systems in place to make sure that my books still get done, even when I don't feel like doing them. I've put systems in place to make sure my social media remains active, even when I don't feel like posting. Because the right activities must be reinforced as much as the wrong activities must be discouraged. That, my friends, is how we ensure that we remain change ready in our minds. Because having a change ready mindset, it predisposes us to change ready actions. It predisposes us to the degree of agility and responsiveness that is required for us to succeed in a world that we cannot predict. Your ability to predict is secondary to your ability to plan. You will not be able to predict this environment, but what you can plan are the steps you plan to take in order to ensure that you build yourself and build your enterprise to be change ready not change resistant, but to be change ready. With that, I just want to thank you for spending these few minutes with me. I trust that something that I said was of value to you as you go out there and create enterprises that will change the world around you and make the most of the opportunities that have been afforded to you during this program for you to succeed and go out there and crush your goals. Thank you so much.
221 people graduated from this training and development series. Let's hear Rosita Lynch's and Don Alsop's experiences.
President, Board of Directors, Chief Executive Officer, graduates, tutors, management and staff of the Barbados Small Business Association, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am Rosita Lynch, Director of Floral Designs Incorporated, which trades as Carlton Flowers and Plant Shop, and I'm a proud member of the Small Business Association. As a graduating member of the Class of 2020 Training and Development Series, I am pleased to share with you brief remarks regarding my stimulating journey. Firstly, I found the cost of the programs to be affordable, and the fact that one could pay in installments was a bonus. As a mature student, I did not experience any apprehension about joining the classes, but the pressure of studying and managing time-sensitive work-related tasks proved to be somewhat unnerving. Nonetheless, the facilitators' knowledge of their subject areas, their competence in delivering, the requisite ease with which they facilitated the programs. This combination of factors led to my success. Consequently, I would encourage business owners who want to continue their education, develop personally, hone their skills in different spheres or an amalgam of the foregoing, to consider and choose the Small Business Association to effect the requisite changes in their organization. Thanks again to the Small Business Association.
Good evening. My name is Don Alsop. I'm the owner of DNA Technologies. I'm a small office technology business specializing in printers and UPS systems. Over the years, I have done many courses with the Small Business Association, which have enabled me to interact better with my clients, suppliers, and also to better manage my business. The QuickBooks course has enabled me to better manage my finances. And I have recently done a conversational Spanish course, which has enabled me to communicate better with my Latin American suppliers. Finally, I would like to thank the Small Business Association and the Board of Directors of the Small Business Association for affording us the opportunity to participate in these courses. I would encourage older persons like myself not to take these educational opportunities lightly, and I would implore them to enhance and embrace the concept of additional learning whenever opportunities to learn new skills like these present themselves.
We now continue with the presentation of graduates. Conversational Spanish for Business. developing e-learning solutions, an introduction to Moodle. Marketing for small businesses. Maximizing social media for small businesses. Let's now enjoy this featured item of music. Senator Dr. Lynette Holder, the Small Business Association's Chief Executive Officer, gives the vote of thanks.
Wow, what an exciting program we've had this afternoon. All that is left for me to do now is to formally thank those persons who have helped with this production today. I'm sure before I get there you will agree with me though, it has been a graduation ceremony with a difference. It has been an exciting event, a very entertaining event, but also that you learned a lot from the various presentations that were made. Let me therefore begin by thanking our president, Mr. Corbin, for sharing his thoughts, his views, helping us to understand that yes, this is indeed a changing environment. The winds of change are all around us and we have to adapt. We also thank our featured speaker for the evening, Mr. Raphael Saul, who, as we all know, a motivational speaker, traveling the world over, sharing his views with young and old alike. And you will agree with me that his presentation today was motivational, was stimulating, and will help all of us, students, organizers, business owners alike, to rise to the occasion and to change our mindsets for the future. We also want to thank Elder Maya Wiltshire, who would have led the invocation at the beginning of our ceremony. As is our practice here at the association, we believe that there is a sovereign being who we look to for guidance in all that we do. So we thank Elder Wiltshire for her prayer this afternoon. Our moderator today has been Miss Portia Blackman, and we give Portia thanks as well for helping to steer the course and keeping us on track as we went through our event. We thank you who would have participated in our courses. At the beginning you were graduates, but now you are graduates of this entrepreneurial training program. Thank you again for your commitment and your dedication during the last academic cycle. We also thank our tutors. Without you, we would not have been able to facilitate our programs. And it is your commitment to this vision of the association, your tenacity that helps us as we go through being able to provide these programs and to ensure the level of professional delivery that we are known for. So we thank all of our facilitators. Let me thank as well my team at the Secretariat, those officers who have worked behind the scenes to make sure that this event is well produced and brought to us this afternoon. We thank all those who've helped with organizing the graduates, the technical work and the video production. As you know, we are working in a remote environment, and that too challenges us now to change the skills that we bring to bear and how we go about our operation. So I thank as well the team within the Secretariat. I thank you for viewing. Thank you for spending a part of your Saturday afternoon with us as we celebrated those who would have participated in our entrepreneurial training series. It has been my pleasure to be with you. We look forward to your participation as we continue in the 2021-2022 training cycle. Again, remember our theme, embracing a mindset of change for a changing environment. God bless you all. Good evening. Bye-bye for now.